So the image you see here with the video, and you see as the cover of the podcast, if you're listening on Spotify and stuff, is from issue 61 of IDW Sonic. And a lot of people are pretty much thrilled by this, if you will, because of the fact that, as far as we know, it's the first time that these two have held hands. Now, we've seen them hug and all that, and that's fine. That's fine. But for some odd reason, them holding hands is a lot more important and a lot more significant. But why? Well, one, it's coincidental that we're in the month of Pride. June, of course, is Pride Month, which is basically a celebration or an acknowledgement or a supportiveness, if you will, for LGBTQ and anybody that believes in it, supports it, is kind of fine with it, whatever. And I believe this is one of the reasons why people are happy to see this moment in the comics, because it's happening during a month of such importance, of such cultural importance, if you will, and acceptance. But it doesn't necessarily mean, that they are an item. Not really. Now, here's the thing. As I've learned in the past, even though, let's say a comic or a show or pretty much the people behind it, like the publication or the writers, the animators, whatever you want to call them, even though they won't come out directly and say, yeah, these two are an item, they do leave it up to interpretation based on what they sneak in there. I mean, Ian Flynn, I don't know if he worked on this or if it was Evan Stanley, but Ian Flynn once said in one of his podcasts, when a fan asked him a question about Sally and Nicole and that whole situation in Spark of Life, which was a Sonic Universe miniseries that took place, I should say, during the soft retcon of Archie Sonic. Ian said that he was kind of surprised that they were able to get away with what they were able to bring to the table when it came to Sonic and Sally, because the way they presented it and everything made it very obvious that there was something more between them than just, best friends. But they couldn't come out directly and say that, or else they could get in trouble, if you know what I mean, especially with an all ages comic. So here, I kind of sense the same thing with Whisper and Tangle. Like, we know that it's a friendship that kind of has had its ups and downs, has been tested numerous times and pushed to the limit, but all the time you know that they're always going to have each other's back because they care about each other as best friends and maybe as something more. So to see this moment happen, in the comics, even though it doesn't really indicate that they are officially an item, there's no doubt that the people that drew the comic and the people that wrote the comic knew what they were doing, because they knew fans would interpret that as basically the first major sign that there is something there between Tangle and Whisper that is more than just a friendship. Now, here's the thing. There are various other examples to where it may outright look like, there's something there more than friendship, but it doesn't come out directly and say it. As I've mentioned before numerous times, you go back to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and especially in the later seasons and all that, the final seasons, there is no doubt whatsoever that when you would see Rarity and Spike together, whether it was Best Gift Ever, Somerset, the Somerset Showdown, or whatever it was called, Rarity protecting Spike and then Spike protecting her in the finale, stuff like that. Dragon dropped that episode, if you will. It's like, no matter how many times it was pretty much evident in the eyes of a lot of folks that there was something there between the two that was beyond friendship, it was never truly indicated. It was never truly, pretty much made official. All it was, according to even the writers, like what was it, Jim Miller and others, pretty much it was left up to interpretation. So in other words, even though it was pretty much right in our faces, the way they were being portrayed with each other in the story, in the episodes, it was never officially indicated that they were more than friends. It was just left up to interpretation. I mean, even the comics, from the very beginning to some of the more recent issues, the season 10 issues, if you will, all the way through those comics and even the holiday specials and everything, pretty much there were moments that, basically made it look like that these two were together, that they were an item, but there was no official indication. There was no official announcement. I mean, heck, even when Finland did the Pony Named Spike book, which is an official MLP FIM book, where Spike gets turned into a pony, there is a moment in there to where the cutie mark he has represents what he's thinking. And one of the cutie marks he gets is a heart with Rarity's face in the middle of it. So obviously they teased that there too, but there was nothing officially stated. The point is, just because Whisper and Tangle are holding hands here for the first time, as far as I know, in the comics, to make it look like, hey, these two are now more than just friends, it doesn't necessarily mean they are. It's just something that's put in there by the writers and by the artists to be left up to interpretation. Because they know there's going to be fans out there that have been wanting this for a while, that even if they get this little moment, they're going to run with it. They're going to run with it. Now, yes, word has come out that Sega, overall Sega, if you will, those of Japan and everything, the Sega Sonic team over there, has been more open to implementing romance into the franchise among characters, especially Sonic himself. So maybe this here is the first step in that actually happening in a Sonic media that is, tied to the games, but it's also its own thing. So this might be the first step. Maybe this moment between Tangle and Whisper is the first step in them officially coming to terms that they actually love each other, and not just really like each other as best friends, if you know what I mean, or teammates in the Diamond Cutters. So we'll just have to wait and see what they, bring to the table in the long run. That's all I can say. But, right now, we're not totally sure. All we can do for those that support this ship, because they've been wanting it to happen since the beginning of the comic, all we have to do is just wait and see what they do next. And if they don't do anything next, but they make it evident that there's something more there than just friendship between the two, then yeah, definitely run with your speculation and your, implication, if you will, that these two are an item. Run with it, have fun with it. But right now, there's no indication that is indeed true. But we just have to, like I said, wait and see what occurs. That's all I can say. I mean, I know they're going to take a break from adventuring, for a couple of issues, for at least the summer. So we'll see what they do as we head into the fall, in that era of the, that time frame and era of IDW Sonic, and see what happens. But all I can say is it's going to get really interesting within the next several months. Now we do know that for some reason, Silver is going to kind of be taking a liking and an interest in Whisper. And obviously, this might be based off the fact that one of the characters that fans want to see Whisper with is Silver. So could this be, this little situation happening in the next couple of issues be a tease towards that. Like, yeah, you got this moment here where it's implied and indicated in the eyes of a lot of fans that, Whisper and Tangle are now an item. Could Silver being added to the mix kind of drive a wedge, maybe? Like maybe, maybe we're going to get Silver and Whisper instead and not Tangle and Whisper. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they have in store in the next couple of months. But right now, this here is the image that they're going to be running with for quite some time, and speculating and theorizing and implying with, I should say, of the fact that these two are more than just friends now. But we'll have to see what happens. We will. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Comment below, live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Super chats are welcome during the live chat, guys. Be greatly appreciated. Also, you can support me with a super thanks as well. And check out my Teespring store. And check out the audio version of this video podcast at my BW Roses Discussions podcast on places like Spotify, which would be really helpful, more so than anything. iTunes with Apple, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Audible, I believe I'm on there as well. Anywhere you get to listen to your favorite podcast, you'll be able to find me. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel about this? And first of all, the little flag, the little pride flag that's in this image, that was added in, photoshopped in by a fan. Because if you go read the official issue and you see the panel officially in that issue, there is no flag, so that flag was put in there. But anyway, though, guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Do you think the Silver dynamic might create some conflict, some interest, some intrigue, or not do anything at all, in the coming months, in coming issues? Excuse me there. And do you think, with Sega leaning more towards allowing romance to be implemented into the comics and all Sonic media, do you think that this here is just the first step of maybe finally getting this to be official? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Live chat during the premiere. Like I said, super chats are open during the live chat. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later. But yeah, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Love to hear from each and every one of you on it. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.